Hello, my friends. How are you doing today? How things are going on for you? Happy Monday, wherever you are. Happy Monday to you, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening at your place. I am just so excited to be here with you, my friends. My name is Janna Bowman, and I'm the host of this broadcast, Powering Unique You. We're coming to you live. I'm coming to you from Jackson, in Florida. Please let me know where you are, where you're coming from to watch us, and how things are going on for you. If you are on the live, I want to see you. I want to talk. I want to see your questions. If you're watching on a replay, say hi. Please add on some comments, some takeaways from this episode. This is season 2. Wow, it's been exciting. It's episode number 2 of season 2. That's so cool, I feel. And before I start, I had a feeling to just say a short, brief prayer for you. As you're watching, I asked my Lord, my God, to just bless you. To Lord, just bless this person that is watching right now. Bless this wonderful friend, this wonderful, amazing human, and equip this person, equip this human with all of the beautiful things that he or she needs to achieve what he or she desires, and just be blessed and just be joyful, just be happy. Amen. So I feel like I want to spread this joy to you. This world feels so complicated, so dark in a way, so full of fears, so full of challenges. And sometimes, we are in the midst of these challenges and we need to learn how to ascend. We need to learn how to ascend over this darkness. And sometimes, figuratively, we need to go up and climb up on the mountain to be able to be above this, valley of death, so to speak, right? There's so many fears, complications, frustrations. I do not know how about you, but I sense them. I sense them. If it's not outside, it's something internal rises up. So it's like we need to ascend and spend some time in this up on the top on the mountain. If you're a believer, you can have a prayer. If you're a non-believer, you can just be there with yourself and just contemplate what is this, how to find peace, how to find joy, how to see the sunrise, and just be filled with positive things, positive energy. And that's what exactly I want to talk about today, and bring my amazing, phenomenal name twin, as we call each other. This lady is just amazing, and I've met her, I feel, by accident, but at the same time, not by accident. God brought us together. We've had amazing conversations, and I was really touched by her recent experiences, and that's why I want to bring them over to you. So as you're joining in, please say hi, tell me, how are you doing? So this amazing guest that I'm bringing in today to have a conversation about is really coming along. She came alongside to develop and help business leaders who are maybe have great ideas, but they're overwhelmed because they do not know how to express those ideas. They do not know how to carry them. So she comes in, she listens to the ideas, she creates a plan how to bring those ideas into reality, looking at brand strategy, community building, how to message it, how to convey it and reach out to the clients that you want to deserve. So if you're one of those leaders, you might want to tune in like double attention and see what Janna has to say. As well as she is actually did something amazing. She climbed up the little mountain. So you know what? Without further ado, I want to bring her on and let's just ask her the very questions. How did she did it? Hello, my friend Janna.
Hello, so good to be here with you.
Yay, it's so amazing. I'm just so excited to have you on the show today. And it's literally, I'm so inquisitive about how did it come to be for you to literally go to Tanzania and climb up the mountain. Let's go straight to the topic. And how did it all even transpire in the midst of this COVID, in the midst of these restrictions, in the midst of these fears? How did you manage to do this, my friend?
Well, so I am prone to adventure and just kind of not really thinking through something before I sign up. So about 6 months ago, I was on Facebook as many of us are. And there was an ad that popped up that said, hey, why don't you join us for a leadership program and we're going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. So I was like, what's the harm in clicking to see more information? What's the harm in clicking for a phone call? And then sooner than I know it, I was in an amazing 6-month leadership program with a team of 8 other people and 2 great coaches, literally coaching me through life, business. And then we all culminated and met in Tanzania 1st of September and climbed Mount Kilimanjaro together. So it was just phenomenal to already be with a team of people that I had been with over like Zoom over the past 6 months, and then just really had mentally, physically, and emotionally, as I thought I could, little did I know how little that was, just prepare myself to climb a mountain and just began to, after I got like on the mountain, and then as I've been home probably the past month, just really see all of the amazing things that have transformed as a result of it.
Wow. There's a lesson that I am catching from this. Do not be held by fear. Do not be held aback by unknown. I could see that there is a courage in you to stepping up to really check out, what does it look like? This is interesting. Let me try it. But then to say yes to climbing the mountain, traveling across the ocean on the other side of of the continent, and exploring what it means to climb up the mountain. This requires a lot of courage. So please tell me, how was it that for you to prepare for the trip and actually being there? What would you observe that really made an effect on you and changed you in a profound way?
Well, I think one thing, you touched on something with the fear, and I just have a belief similar to yours that there's something far greater. And so really I wasn't faced with fear. There wasn't the fear of flying. There was concern, and I took appropriate precautions, but I just was like, there's life to live, and this is a great opportunity, and don't know if I'll ever have that again. And so just really kind of just took the plunge and jumped in and didn't really look back and think that. And so of course, there was the physical preparation. There was lots of hikes involved. There was lots of hours of walking, training, just eating healthy, just preparing physical body. And, just the mental preparation that not everybody has to do, but we went through the leadership training and, just kind of figuring out how we're wired, what our core values are, and just really digging a little bit deeper, which I think then made the trip even more inspirational, possible, and just the greater magnitude by being able to be part of that program, to begin to already kind of peel back all the layers and the onions and of myself, of my life, and just take a deeper dive into myself to prepare for what was ahead.
Wow, this sounds transformational. I love it. And I feel like sometimes we want to jump off to go off and ascend the mountain, but from what you're saying is, I feel even figuratively, if we do want to ascend, if we do want to transcend and change our beliefs, it takes some process, it takes some preparation. I don't feel we want to have a New Year resolutions, but we don't carry them on because we want to wake up on the other side of the 1st of January and say, now I'm going to be a brand new person and a brand new habits, and lo and behold, you slide back on the same that you've been and you've had. So it takes some preparation. I feel it also takes determination. From what I hear from your words is determination, to determine to do this inner work, to determine that you've determined to go through the process, to prepare yourself, and then actually do that. And maybe give us a little bit of a glimpse of what was it in your experience to actually climb up that mountain. I know, tell us a little bit about different seasons and things like that. That really sounds cool.
Sure. So there's a saying in Swahili, pole pole, that literally our guides kept telling us over and over, and that means slow down, slow. And so some of the times, and most of that is just for the altitude, like you can only go the slower you go, the more success rate you get, not get altitude sickness. But I think the biggest thing was there was days, I wasn't anticipating that sometimes literally we would only travel 1 mile and it would take over an hour to travel that 1 mile. So literally slow. And some days were 5 to 14 hours worth of hiking. And, obviously food, exhaustion, all of that set in. And so I think that was literally just a determination that was just grit, pure grit, deep strength that you just pull from your bootstraps and you're like, there's no way down except for down. Like I have to go up to go down. And I think the lesson that I was even reflecting today as I was thinking about this is it's one step in front of the other. And so every day, even from when I arrived in Tanzania, in the town of Moshi, it can see the mountain. And then every day up until day 5.5, like literally at sunrise on day 6, you could see the mountain. And it was just getting a little bit closer, but it still seemed like very far away. And I think that's so much in life that, we see something and we want it, but like you said, we want to be there now. But
Yes.
it takes a lot of sweat, toil. I ended up being totally nauseous and stomach cramping for days, basically like 2 to 5, where I was just doubled over. Literally every time we stopped, I was doubled over. But again, I was like, there's no way down except for to go up and come down the other side. So I've got to keep going. And I think just that mental preparation, but also as a believer, there was several Bible verses from the Bible that kept going through my head, but I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that really was for me an anchor, because I knew it wasn't my own strength that I was doing that, but just also a lesson to remind, just even with my teammates around me, that I can't do it on my own. I can't do life on my own, and that it requires me to lean on people and to show my weakness in good ways, transparency, because it's then when people can help.
Wow. There's so much power in that. I feel, lesson of seeing the goal and taking a small steps toward it can be discouraging, because you find yourself on day 5 and you're like, I could just still see it, I'm not that's close there. And then this not feeling well and just wanting to give up. But they say, you can't go back. You gotta have to get moving. You gotta have to get going towards your goal. So that is beautiful. And I feel the most I love is really for you to say, being vulnerable and to lean on your community. And I feel that is so important. I've been thinking about this week, the community that I have, the people that I have, like you, like the ones that are watching me, you and I right now, the ones that, my friends, my family, the community around us. We're not alone in this, right? And you, as you're watching it right now or listening to it right now, you may feel that you have this mountain to climb in front of you, whether it's you're going to find a job, or you're going to strengthen your health, or whatever it may look like. Maybe it's a relationship circumstance. You have this mountain to climb that may be impossible for you to even think and comprehend how you're going to do this, how you're going to make it, how you're going to get through it. And you feel that every day you're kind of in the trenches, you're not getting close. Lean on your community, show your vulnerability, and ask for help. And I feel that is something that we miss. And I know I miss. I want to do it all. I feel we are so self-conscious that we don't want to show this weakness. But it's a beautiful lesson. And I appreciate you sharing this. So tell us a little bit about, how does it look like to get there? How does it feel like when you actually in the process on the mountain and you're getting to the top?
It was amazing. I think also there was, we went through 5 different climates as we went to the top. So just even seeing the difference of creation, of like the different vegetation. I'd never been in a rainforest and saw monkeys literally just like climbing through the trees and jumping branch to branch that I'd only seen in zoos. So just seeing that, the experience of seeing the stars at night. So literally, I think all but one night we were camped above and walking above the clouds. I'm sure there's a song in that somewhere, but literally where we were, we could look down and see the cloud base below us. And so then obviously there wasn't any light. So at night, the sky was black as black, and just stars that I'd never even seen except for maybe movies or, books. or through a telescope, if you will. So I think just seeing a lot of the sights and the feels, and going step by step, and then knowing when I got to the top, I got to see the sunrise, because we summited. I think I summited about 8:30 in the morning. So literally we hiked from midnight to 8:30 in the morning to get to the top, all night, like with just our headlamp and our guides leading the way, and to see the sunrise. And as they said, you're probably the first to see the sunrise over all of Africa, and it was absolutely tremendous and amazing. But to get to the top, there was this huge sense of accomplishment. But I don't think it really settled in till I got to the bottom, and then week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, because I realized that there was so much significance on getting to the top. It was a huge accomplishment, one, just a physical feat. But as I came back down and made all of my other, quote, mountains that I perceived as big and impossible, like nothing. I'm like, if I can do that, then if I can negotiate that, if I can find the grit to do that, then if I kept that same mindset and that same clarity, then there's nothing that's impossible in a sense. And it also just gave me such a clarity, almost literally leaving a lot of, maybe I would say, the past baggage or hurts or doubts or lack of self-confidence, any of all that. Like, we all have that. I mean, we could probably put names to people, situations, words that were spoken over us, jobs. I mean, like your own self-doubts, all of that. And I say not all of it, but is a lot of it. I feel like I left there because when I came back down, I was literally a new person. Like it was gone. There was a freedom that I've allowed myself to experience that wasn't there before.
Wow, this is really inspirational. And this is where we come to the point of you got to have a strength, determination, and a power, self-empowerment to ascend your mountain. In your case, it's literal mountain. And then how this experience has transformed you and really free you from those limiting beliefs of yourself. And I would love to dig a little bit deeper in that. I feel there's so much to unpack in how that experience really has impacted you. And now that you're looking back over a period of several weeks that you've been back home, how do you see, and where is the biggest, I think, dent in a good sense that ascension made in your life and your self-doubts and negative self-beliefs?
I would have to say the biggest one would be confidence, self-confidence. And that seems very basic, and probably all my friends and family be like, you're super confident. But, it's easy to hide behind a lot of like efficiency and everything. But I realize when I don't show up confident, when I don't wake up, when I don't put my confidence on and it's not coming from within, then I don't show up as my true self in business meetings, on phone calls with my friends, and I'm not aligned with who I am, because there's some like lack of confidence, I think, also translates to fear. Fear of failing, fear of whatever, name whatever your fears are. And not to say that I'm not going to ever not struggle with that, because I think it's a daily choice. But it gave me almost like a supercharge and a super boost to go, you know what, when I show up confident, when I am really transparent in who I am and who I want to be, then you know what, I have the ability to impact so many more people in a real way than if I show up cowering.
This is powerful. And confidence, I feel, yes, we are most of the times, like you said, are good at masking it, right?
Exactly.
we put in this mask of confident person and on jobs, even in negotiations or with customers or whatnot. But deep down, if we look at ourselves, so to speak, peeling off all of these masks, and deep down, we have, and let me know if you feel like this as you're tuning in. I feel there's a lot of doubt. And to me, how I perceive what you shared is really there's a lot of disbelief and even negativity in a way, where I feel we give ourselves this criticism, this negative talk, and and we're not fully believing that we can achieve greater things. Looking at where we were, maybe looking at where we at, you kind of think, well, what else is out there? I'm just kind of going through life. I've listened to the little short podcast yesterday. It says, when you are here, actually note here, when you are frustrated or discouraged, you stop wishing, you stop dreaming, and you're just handling life. And that was like, wow. And the question is, what is your wish? What do you wish for? Have you sat down and wrote down your wishes, your dreams? And do you have clarity about where you want your life to look like? And those are like, wow, simple questions, right? But if we think about it, to let it sink in, we say, no, it feels like I've been frustrated. It feels like I've been, upset, or, maybe discouraged, or maybe too hurried around, and I just handle life. That was a strong word, handle life, right? So I almost feel like we need those moments, and I applaud you for doing this trip, for making this ascension to be an inspiration to me and to everyone who's watching and listening, I believe, to realize that sometimes we need to create ourselves circumstances where it will help us to stretch. It will help us to ascend, to strengthen our self-belief, to strengthen that we can achieve things, and actually slow down in a way to start wishing, right? To start believing that we can make dreams again. We can project positive things in the future, because, gosh, it's been so much fear. Fear here, fear
Absolutely.
there. So how did you feel you were held back by fear in some or the other way through that experience?
I would have to say no, because I really, by God's grace, I tend to only have doubts and fear after I've jumped off the cliff, going, maybe I really should have thought through this a little bit more. But I tend to just jump and then figure it on the way. But as you were talking about, is it really, like, to everyone listening, I think the biggest thing is, it didn't just happen because I was on the mountain for 7 days. And literally a year and a half ago, I made a choice to invest in myself, and kind of, for the first time in my life, my career, to really, like, spend the money. And I know the money isn't always available, but it's painful, but it was always provided, and begin to uncover the layers. And so I would say, while I went on the mountain for 7 days and I've been home for 4, and oh my gosh, it's all this clarity. But I would just encourage each of you, if you're in that beginning place, give it time. Like pole, one foot in front of the other, slow. It's a process, because you can't undo what you've created all along, and just really, like, leaning into that, and each step is a new discovery, and then that discovery allows you a new discovery, allows a new one. And so, yeah, why it's been amazing, I would say, just to really lean into that. And again, it's scary to look at yourself, because sometimes it's not very pretty. And I think also a couple of lessons, like I said, the like, forming that inner circle and that community. And I was reading in a book by, I think it's Mark Thames, just this yesterday, is your transformational circle. It's not just friends. It's just not colleagues. It's not just your inner circle. It's those people who talk about life in ways that is transforming, that talk about not just making money, but how do you influence people transformationally?
Wow.
And that really hit me to really begin to build that out, because again, I'm only the power of one.
Yes.
And the more people I have in my circle, the more people we can impact and give hope and shed light on.
Wow.
And and it's even more present, I think, in our pandemic world, where we've been taken away from people. And I think it's been even more critical to listen. As I said, I did for 2 weeks, 14 days, I didn't listen to the news. I was on social media and I didn't miss it at all. And I think that had a bearing too of whose voices were in my head.
Oh, wow.
That like by not having any, I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but I think for me, by not having media, social media, other people's voices that could sway me either way, in my head, it gave me complete clarity to hear what was inside my own head and my own soul.
Wow. This is really powerful. And thank you for sharing this. I feel this is very deep. And I can somewhat relate to your experience because I shut myself off for almost 3 months from the social media, and I was present with my family. But I had other voices of my kids somewhat of controlling me. So I had many other voices around me that were demanding attention and things like that. However, I feel it is important to be aware and beware. What voices are you allowing to come in? What voices are you allowing to penetrate your mind, your heart, your soul, and affect you even on a spiritual level? So it is giving yourself that space, creating that space is necessary to be, with yourself. And then, for you and I as a believers, it's being with our creator. If you have different belief system, you can just be with yourself for a minute and just maybe be there in a peace and find a way how to see yourself eye to eye. And I feel it is important for us to create that intentionally. And again, by being frustrated, by being hurried and busy, we handle life and we don't intentionally create it. So this is really living intentionally. How do you intentionally give yourself permission and almost a push to create the, also, as you mentioned, community of transformational community that help you to feel and be more transformed on this journey, and also encourage and inspire you to transform others by sharing your journey. This is powerful. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I want to share, though, let me just get to see if I can play around with this. I'm going to share your picture here. Let's see if it's going to work. Here you go. Let me do this. Does this work? Here you go. It's okay. It looks in the middle of our faces, but here you go. Tell us a little bit about this picture.
So that was making it to Stella Point, one of two peaks up the mountain. And it was just an incredible experience. And I think another thing I learned is raise your arms, celebrate. Because I don't do that often enough. And there was several pictures along the way where I just chose to celebrate, because we don't want to celebrate ourselves, but to celebrate the moment and the moment that we've accomplished and the impact it could have on others. I'm learning how important that is to celebrate, to give thanks, and to commemorate. Make that like picture. And also it's very huge that I actually printed the picture and have it in a frame in my home. Like, that's not like me at all. But again, to remember the milestone, to commemorate that experience.
I love it.
And yes, if you were to see me on the street, you probably wouldn't recognize me because I had 6 layers of clothes on the top and 4 on the bottom. So
that is so amazing. Something that resonated with me. I actually signed up for a high five challenge by Mel Robbins. I don't know if you heard about it, but Mel Robbins released her book and she's doing challenge, and it's actually on Brandon's Bouchard app that he created called Growth Day. So I've looked into that. I'm like, oh, I need that. And it's literally you high five yourself in the mirror. It's a simple concept she's sharing, but she shared how it helped her to uplift herself through the pandemic. And then she started doing all this research and she started looking into it. And she said it actually affects your performance. It actually affects how successful you are, not just individually, but even in a team. If you work in a team, I think she mentioned someone of an NFL teams that they are in a preseason. If those that give the most high five and cheering and encouraging each other, they are most likely be the ones to win. So it's find the ways to celebrate. I love it. Find a way to celebrate, capture it, encourage yourself, and really go for the win, and create this encouragement within that you can achieve and you can conquer and ascend over the mountains that are ahead of you, and celebrate as you're ascending, celebrate as you're up on the top, and then remember those moments as you're down back to your, so to speak, normal life in a way. But I feel that life is not normal anymore. From what you've shared, that experience of pushing yourself through, that experience of committing to something that is uncomfortable. I know you shared previously there was even physical challenges there. There were, I'm sure, mental challenges, emotional, as you go through that journey, and then celebrate who you become through that experience, right? It's beautiful. So how about you share some encouraging words to those who are tuning in as we close this segment, my friend?
I think, just like my dear friend has summarized, is there's hope in life. Like, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter how dismal it looks. It doesn't matter, like, if you're fear of losing your job or income or bills, or you may be on that mountain right now celebrating something. That life should never be a standstill. And I've learned that. I've been in that standstill where I've put myself in that box and stood still, and I was miserable. And I realized that it's only me. And it's more mental than physical, that so many times my circumstances around me changed, but it wasn't my physical circumstances. It was literally my mindset. And I know that, but more and more every day, I'm realizing how powerful our mind is to create our outlook and our circumstances. And it's only us and the voices and the influences that we have that can change our mindset and help us to be a better version of ourselves, to have hope. And with that hope, we can ripple and affect others with our personalities, with our talents, with our abilities. And with that, we all are better people because of everybody showing up the best selves.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming in today, sharing your amazing experience, the lessons you've learned. It's been a joy and privilege to speak with you today, my friend.
Well, thank you. It's been an honor to be here. Thank you.
I'll see you next time. Wow. This was mind-blowing to me. When I've heard the story, I said, I'm going to bring it to you, my friend, and I'm going to share this phenomenal woman and her experience and tap into her, what she has created out of that experience. And now she's reaping the effect. And as you can hear and see, it's just, inspirational. It's just powerful. And that is all what it is about. I'm here to truly help you realize that the power is within you. And as you know, this power, you have the power to put it on, to turn it on. And you have this capabilities of change the outlook, change the way you look at things, change your mindset. If you're a believer, committed to God and trust and do what you know the best, and make an impact in your life. And you don't have to feel stuck. We don't have to handle lives, right? We don't have to just go through the motion of the day. And make a different choice. Be intentional. Let's write our wishes. Let's write our dreams. Let's have clarity about what we want to, who we want to be, what we want to achieve, how we want to live this day intentionally. So that is what my encouragement for you today, my friend. I'm so thrilled. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for giving us this time. And I will see you again soon. Until then, keep powering Unique You.